Today we started day 2 of the Diddy trial, and Boosie decided to chime in as usual and put in his frustrations about this trial. Now, if you ask me, it just doesn't make sense. I think that he should have waited and figured out the facts and realized what was really happening in this case, because in my personal opinion, sometimes we have to wait till we get everything put out there. Then we can realize who was wrong where. Oh, this makes sense here. That's just what it is. I'm the nigga that watched the Falcons lose 28-3. You hear me? I was up going crazy when they was up 28-3 and then they came back. So one thing I've learned in my life is patience. So today was day 2 of the Diddy trial. And Boosie decided that he was going to speak out before Cassie took the stand. And I honestly think that might be his biggest mistake, because a lot of the things Cassie said were very, very damaging to the trial. Now, we have to wait for her to get cross-examined, but anytime you got a witness that's alive and well, I don't know what to tell you, my boy. So little Boosie, aka Torrance Hatch, would say, if anything, man, this should be a domestic abuse case, not a sex trafficking case, man. She enjoyed the wild sex parties and the extravagant gifts on the back end, man. All of these years of sex parties, you mean to tell me she didn't enjoy it? I'm convinced she enjoyed it, man. I'm pretty sure she came during those freakouts. It was a lifestyle. This was consensual. She was his girlfriend. Trying to give someone life in prison for this is bullshit, man. Now, before I get started on Cassie's testimony, because she was the first witness today, let me say this. Boosie, you could very well be right, but at the same time, the same way that you're explaining this is absolutely incorrect. You're saying just because she came at these parties that she wasn't inappropriately treated, she wasn't violated sexually. If your daughter came but a nigga raped her, how would you feel? Our body is gonna respond how our body is supposed to respond. So therefore, you're incorrect. If he wanted and made her participate in these parties to a point where she felt like she couldn't leave, then what do we think? Now, we got to let the court decide that. So I do agree that the court of public opinion is just a whole block of BS. But we got to let things happen and we got to figure it out. But what I will say is your angle is very incorrect, Boosie. Now, Cassie had her day on trial, and I'm going to give y'all the cliff notes because it was so much going on. Her testimony was long, so I figured I'd give y'all the most important part, so y'all just stick beside me. Now, Cassie came, she's 38, very much pregnant right now, and she came on the stand to say this. Y'all listen closely. She said that she frequently had fights with Diddy. He stumped her in the head. She did her first freak off to make him happy, but she didn't want to do them, at least as frequently as he proposed. If she refused to do them, she will be blackmailed through recordings that he took of the freak offs and things of that nature. She said that Diddy introduced her to oral sex. She had never had that before at the time, and drugs. She was introduced as well, like Blue Dolphin, ecstasy. She had never experienced those. She recalls hearing about Suge Knight one time and him being near in the middle of a freak off, and Diddy and his squad got dressed up in all black and they got strapped and they left the house. For a certain amount of years, the freak off would be a weekly thing. Her last one would be in 2017, maybe 2018. And she would have to stay awake in these free calls for a long period of time, where she was forced to be used ecstasy, Molly, and coke, which she said she definitely wasn't a favor of cocaine because it would get her heart racing. She says that she told him numerous times she didn't want to do those drugs and also didn't want to participate in the freak offs. And the materials in the freak offs would be Astroglide, which is a form of lube, condoms, and baby oil. Claims that Diddy wanted their bodies glistening while they was doing the do. She also said Diddy forced her to do the freak offs on her period sometimes. That is crazy. So I'm already saying, Boosie, are you sure that you want to speak about some shit you don't know? Being forced to do a freak off with a male escort on your period is crazy. We have the witness alive and well to do their testimony. So do you think that you need to be saying what you're saying right now? But I digress. Now, she also said the escorts and Diddy both urinated on her, including in her mouth, where she would choke on the urine, and it happened very often. Initially, they found the escorts on Craigslist, also found them on Backpage. She recognized the escort in the courtroom known as the Punisher, who she had interactions and intercourse with in multiple states such as NY, California, and Nevada, with him being forced to use drugs. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry, y'all. She was forced to use drugs like Special K, shrooms, and GHB. And after the escort skeeted on Cassie, Diddy would want the babies transferred from her body to his nipples. So this is the type of stuff she was going against right here. That is crazy. Now, this is a crazy situation because what I will say about this is I think that to an extent, Boosie is actually right. But I think for the most part, Boosie is actually wrong. What do I mean? So I think that things can be fun until they ain't fun no more, in which you have a right to leave, in which you have a right to refuse. But I don't think that Diddy gave her that right. I think, in my personal opinion, I think that it sounds to me like Diddy was like, no, you're going to continue doing this. I think that some of the things Diddy did, they teeter on the breaking of the law, but it is what it is. Maybe Diddy didn't know he was breaking the law, but at the same time, if you're flying escorts over state lines, then that's what it is. Maybe he's not guilty of certain things, but he's guilty of something else. You're urinating in a woman's mouth and she's already expressed to you before that she doesn't want to do this. What does that tell you? It don't matter if she said it only once and then enjoyed the rest of it. It don't matter if she said it twice and then enjoyed the rest of it. If she says no, no is no. So I think that Diddy is guilty of a lot of these things. He may not be guilty of everything, but he's definitely guilty of certain aspects of this investigation. And I think that Diddy has been getting away with a lot of things for so long because of the power aspect that he has, that he doesn't even realize what he is wrong about at this time. So yeah, I think Diddy is going to jail. I'm just giving y'all my personal opinion. I think he deserves to go to jail. I don't know for how long. I'll let the jury decide that. I'll let them figure out what he's guilty about. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, man. I can't trust nobody like that. It's crazy to me that he got his daughters in the courtroom while all of this is being said and being going on. But I do think the feds could have had a stronger case. It seems like they don't really have video proof. It seems like they're just going off the word of the witnesses, of the victims. And while that works, if you really wanted to like get rid of them, I think that you could have been in a better situation by having more physical proof. But we don't know what all is else yet to come. So we'll see. A lot is coming. This is just day 2, y'all. This is supposed to be basically a 2 to 3 month trial. So everything is gonna come out. There's 2 other victims that are testifying against Diddy. So we just gotta wait. We gotta, you know, chill, be humble, and we'll figure the rest out, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell. And let me know what y'all think about Diddy, man. Let me know what y'all think about Boosie as well. Do we need to mind his goddamn business? This is a nigga who's fighting a trial right now for a gun case. Maybe he should mind his business. The last thing you want to do is piss the feds off by stating your opinion, and you already got a federal case. That's just my personal opinion. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though. We out, baby. Boom!
IG-TheLaFlareLounge.
It's him.